Yeah. Welcome to another episode of the Sudz Effect podcast. As you can see, we got a new guest,
It's a pleasure.
slowly becoming a veteran in his industry. Mr. Ffrench, how are you, sir?
I'm good. Glad to be here.
Yes. How things been?
Good. No complaints.
That is it. So people who want to tell us, say, this dog is making promising moves in the real estate industry. So we're going to tap a little into it. So tell me, how you got into real estate?
Well, in terms of doing the course itself or the reason I got into real estate?
Both. We can start with the reason.
Well, as you would have known, I got into UE to the engineering, and I didn't end up doing engineering at all. I didn't end up going to university.
Mm-hmm.
And while trying to find something to do, I stumbled across the real estate course. My sister actually did it. She's a realtor as well. She'll give me a little advice about how to go about it, and that's how I kind of got into it. So, kind of just happened.
Yeah.
Mm.
So tell me something, cause you have something go around, I know, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But beast before yard or yard over beast or beast over yard, whichever the case is.
Yeah.
What can you tell the people who are actually thinking that it's better for beast before yard because of how much capital they might think they need to have a yard first?
Well, I wasn't believe in investment first.
Mm.
Cars are, well, I love cars.
Mm.
I have a mini beast.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there's a lot of, what do you call it now? What's the word I'm looking for? To get involved in real estate is not as horrible or as
Challenging.
challenges as people would make it seem. With everything, you have difficulties, and everything that would result in a good effect on you, it's not going to come easy. So it's definitely a bit of a challenge, but it's not as challenging as people would see. It's something that's not going to happen overnight in terms of accomplishing that, even simple as renting somewhere, buying somewhere. But if it is you set a goal and you want to achieve it, it can be done.
Oh. So I want to know, what is the most difficult part of the real estate market? Because I know say you might have a promising client and then probably like 2 days before the deal closing cancel, and you might have a different case. So what's the most difficult part of being in real estate?
Well, yeah, you answer the one question, the client disappears.
Okay, from your experience.
All right. The thing is, all right, how I look on it is that if I have 100 clients looking for somewhere, I'll only close a deal with 10 of them. But
So basically 10%.
Yeah. So, but that 10 will make up for the 100. So that is how I look on it. So if I have 3 deals happening right, like this week, I have probably like 30 clients working with me. So it's kind of navigating of who is serious. So like even like a lot of time when people reach out to me, because what I'll do, I create a client list and I break it up. So if it is that you want somewhere to rent, somewhere to buy, or if it is that you have a property that you want me to do either with, I put it into that category. And I constantly follow up with you, and then I break down the list further to say, all right, then this person is more serious. They may put more effort and time into it at this point in time. Because you'll have clients that will reach out to you and they're not specifically ready at that moment, but they'll be ready like later on. Because I've had a client of mine, we did a deal early January, and we first started the conversation in 2020. And we just did the first deal.
So in cases like that now, if the person is not immediately ready,
yeah,
by the time they're ready, that property not gone?
and it falls back to what I'm saying. It depends on what you want. So initially he wanted to lease a commercial space and I end up getting him a residential space to
Mm.
rent,
Mm-hmm.
and then in that interim, we also source something to purchase. So
Mm.
initially, what he reached out to me for is not what we got. what
But you
came
are
out of it.
satisfied.
Yeah.
Oh,
Mhm.
okay.
Don't really have any complaint from my
That
clients.
is it. But like say somebody is say 27 and younger or
hmm
under 30
hmm
and they want to buy versus rent a house based on their age,
hmm
which one you think would be the most feasible? And
Um,
what is the process of doing that?
all right, that's a very wide topic. Um, because all right, when you're talking about real estate, it's one of the biggest things that you will do with your life in terms of either if you're renting or buying. Um, if it is that, it really depends on your scenario and situation. Um, Obviously, it would be good to buy, but sometimes it's much easier to just rent.
Mm.
Because, say for instance, you have somebody that lives in, say for example, in Stib,
Mm.
and they got a really good job in Kingston. That back and forth, it's every day. That's a hassle.
Mm-hmm.
It would be much easier for them to just rent somewhere in Kingston, so that has to kind of cut down, or
Or
vice
travel
versa,
costs.
where I live in Kingston, I might have get an opportunity in Montego Bay. That back and forth, it would
Mm.
make sense that all right,
Rent.
I look at this as a long-term position, but let me just rent somewhere in interim, save, and then in a year or two, the money that I've saved, I use it as a deposit to purchase somewhere.
Mm.
Mhm.
So the second part now, what is the process if someone wants to purchase a house?
Purchase, all right. To purchase a property,
Under 30.
well, it is the same process for any age.
The mortgage wouldn't be different based on the age though.
Yeah, it's different in terms of the payback period and your monthly payment. So the younger you are, the better it is your monthly payment is going to be. But if it is that you want to purchase somewhere, and this is for all ages, is you're going to need your deposit to buy a property. So say you look all right. First, you have to set up yourself. But if it is that you want to purchase somewhere, it's not something that you can just get up and say, "Oh, I want to buy somewhere," unless you're a multimillionaire and you
Mm-hmm.
have millions sit down in an account.
Mm.
But if you're the average Joe
Mm-hmm.
and you want to buy somewhere, you have to set a goal and say, all right, then I want to buy somewhere. Let me look online and say, all right, then if it is I want somewhere in New Kingston. And this is just an example, not quoting the prices for New
Yeah.
Kingston. It's all right, I want to live in New Kingston. I want to set a budget of 35 million for myself. I want a two-bed apartment. You look in and you say, all right, then the apartments in New Kingston, they're ranging from like 30 to 40 million. You say, all right, then let me put my deposit together. Because it's not just to put the deposit down in terms of when you're purchasing the property. You
Mm-hmm.
have your closing fee on the mortgage. If it is that you're doing a mortgage, you have to get a valuation and a survey done. That's an additional cost. What else is there? You have your transfer tax that you have to pay. That's when the property is being, that's after your loan has been up. So let me give a breakdown of how the process works. So when you're buying a property and you're using a mortgage, you have to go to the bank and you have to get a pre-qualification letter.
Mm-hmm.
So they will look at your credit history and say, all right, then Mr. Spence, you're qualified. They're willing to lend you $100 million to buy a property depending on what they've seen
Mm-hmm.
your account is like, or your credit. And then for you to say, all right, then bank has pre-qualified me for 100 million. I need to have 20 million put down to close the transaction. So that's anything that the bank allots to you, because most of the banks they will do 90% financing. So you
Mm-hmm.
have to have your deposit ready, and then you have to have your money to close it. So once it is that they give you the pre-qual letter, that's where I come in now. You give me a call, you say, hey, Trav, I need to buy somewhere. My budget is 100 million. Start looking. We find somewhere for the 100 million, put in an offer, vendors accept it. We send off the offer to the attorneys. We send them a notification, say, hey, Mr. Spain wants to buy your $100 million property. These are the terms. He wants to close it in 120 days. He's paying a 10% deposit. So you get your sales agreement. It outlines the stipulations of when it's supposed to close and da 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 da. Then what will happen now is that you forward that same sales agreement to your bank. Your bank is going to look at it now and say, all right, then they'll get a valuation done on the property because they have to safeguard them investment to say, all right, the $100 million property, even though you're paying $100 million, is it really worth $100 million? Then you have a survey done same time to say, all right, then this $100 million property, not in breach where is a acre property, and on the title is only half acre for say if it's in any breaches or so forth. Then what will happen? The bank will start to process the mortgage or the loan, and then once it is that them say, all right, then everything adds up. Them do have like an in-depth credit report of you and say, all right, then everything is in order. Then they give an approval on the mortgage, and then what will happen is that they will send the attorneys a letter of undertaking, and the letter of undertaking states that basically that the property should be transferred into your name now, and at the end of that transfer, the bank will release the 100 million to the vendor.
Okay. So for all of those who are looking to buy a place, you see the process that you have to go through, and that is buying, not renting. Renting is much much less of a burden.
Yeah. And as I said, when it comes on to purchasing, it's not as challenging as people make it seem, but it's something that takes a lot of time, and you have to have your stuff in order. So even if it is that you're making $1 million a month, you can go to the bank and them look at it and say the pre-approval is just them looking at your earning and say, all right, then
you can
grant that, yeah. But when it is that when you send off everything to the bank now and them really start looking at your transactions and looking at, all right, he's earning $1 million a month, but he's spending 800,000. Then the $100 million, what them qualify for it, they might say, oh, this can't work. Yeah.
Right now, I don't.
Yeah. So it's, as I said, it's a goal that you have to set and know that it's something that's going to take time.
So this, we know the people want to know this, you know. What is the most expensive property you have right now, and where is it?
Well,
and if you can disclose the figure.
Yeah, for sure. It's in the public.
Okay.
Most of my stuff is in the public. Can't hide no. The most expensive property I have now, it's farmland. It's called Springvale. It's located in Trelawney and St. James. It's 2,734 acres, and it's listed at US $5,450,000.
You hear that, people? Keynote US.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's farmland. It has a river on it. It also has a quarry, but we're in some discussions with some people right now. But it's technically still available.
Technically.
Yeah.
So there was an offer made, a counter offer.
Well, not a counter. As I said, we're in discussion.
Yeah. Okay. The other parties now. What is the most expensive property you've ever sold? If you're comfortable with that. If you're comfortable with disclosing that.
I don't have a problem.
Where?
Most expensive property I've sold a few, you know.
Yeah. Cause we know you go to work, you know.
Alright, I won't disclose exactly where it is, but it's in Kingston 8. How much figures is that now? The property was listed in USD, but it had sold in JMD. What was the closing price again?
If you don't know Kingston 8, do your research.
It's little over 100 million. I think we had originally closed it at 150 million. Yeah, around there.
Yeah, people. So you know what going in the real estate market, right? About no, you see me. But from my gathering and observation, I feel like to be very successful in real estate, you have to have a quality network.
Yeah, that's a big part of it.
So, what could you say to any aspiring realtor to get into networking, and how can you kickstart? Tell your story then.
How
you built your network, because
really and truly, it does have to work. That's
Mm-hmm.
There's no secret sauce or whatever it is. It really does truly does have to work. Um, I always laugh at it. I started real estate September 2020, and I never closed my first deal until it 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 happened in December. And I never get paid till January because of the whole holiday
Mm-hmm.
thing. So my first few months in real estate, I never made $1. And it was a rental for like 70,000, I was lucky enough to do both sides of the deal. So
Mm-hmm.
I never get the full 70,000 because you have a brokerage split.
Yeah.
But I was happy for the check.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you make something.
Yeah, but the thing is, I was working like, but at the time, you remember, I was selling cars at the time. So,
Mm-hmm.
but I
You
was
could stay
trying
afloat.
to, yeah, keep myself afloat at the time. But I was transitioning into real estate. Funny enough, actually, when I was doing selling the cars, I always said, yo, the real estate thing would have been a side thing, but um, I guess my passion just kind of switch over to it, and it's a much better business organization. It still has its difficulties. Um, there are definitely some challenges to it, but it's a much better environment than I would say. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so like to me, Jamaica is turning into little Miami right now, bro. You see me?
Yeah.
So what can you say is the reason for the tremendous, stupendous rise in the cost
Right.
of places? Is it
Yeah.
because of how modern the places look? Or is it because of the area these places are going?
Um.
Or is it inflation?
A, 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 a bit of the three. Um. All right. I need to address something.
Yeah.
There's a big misconception out there. All right.
Uh-huh.
In the Jamaica real estate market, and I have the issues with a lot of my vendors at the time. We don't list properties to sell, we list them to negotiate.
Mm.
So what happens is,
Meaning pricing?
yeah, because
Mm-hmm.
the thing is that even though we as the realtors,
Mm-hmm.
we can guide a vendor in what they can ask for a property, but at the end of the day, it's their signature that goes on the dotted line, and it's them say, this is what they want to sell a place for.
Mm.
Um, if it's I've refused listing places because people wanted to do some astronomical figures that's not real.
Mm-hmm.
Like it cannot happen.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not that good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, so back to what I'm saying about the misconception. So it is that if you have $100 million property,
Mm-hmm.
people will list it at 150, 160, but in reality, they want 100 million. So asking price is not final. Make a written offer is what I always tell my clients. Don't be wicked now, because if it is that you will say a 3 bedroom house in Cherry Gardens
Mm.
selling for 70 million, I go for the people in 50. It's not gonna happen.
Mm.
And people egos are always involved, so don't be too crazy about it. Offer a little less than what you actually want to pay and see where it lands. The worst I can say is no. And a
Mm.
lot of the times they don't say no, they always counter offer.
So is there like a universal limit in which like you would go below the asking price? Like say something costs 80 million.
Mm-hmm.
Is it universal that the lowest you would go is probably 5 million less or 6 million less?
It depends on the property. There are variables that you have to consider. You have to consider how long it's been on the market, the location, what really is the actual value of the place, your intention of buying the property,
Mm.
and see if it will actually have a gain on it.
In terms of
Um,
in the future.
yeah, mm. Or an immediate turnover. Because say if it is that you want to buy a commercial property, and you're looking at and say, all right, this is my monthly mortgage payment. You're going to take some time to go in and renovate something. You say, all right, then does it make sense for me to actually buy it at this price, and what the turnover rate will be?
Mm. So me know say you can start real estate
Mm-hmm.
and reach a certain place without different challenges,
Yeah.
right? So was there ever a point where you wanted to quit.
Boy, Blake, I wake up this morning, I want. Because this young man had me out late last night, and I had a showing today,
Mm-hmm.
and I left out, realized it's a wrong key, me leave out, we just had to go back and get the right key. So, but it's just like little stuff like that, but I don't let it phase me.
I don't want to face you.
Nah.
So, is it a case where, okay, you deal with a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's on a day, but probably every week.
Mm-hmm.
You must have some clients that are a headache and rub you the wrong way.
Um,
How do you deal with stuff like that? How do you deal
I
with
deal with one this morning. No, the thing is, we're people. We have emotions. We have egos. The only thing with it is just once you're respectful to me, I'm going to be respectful to you. But if it cross that lines of us, I think I'm going to be disrespectful to you, or you've been disrespectful to me, then there is not a business relationship to be had. Because I'm not a one transaction person. A lot of my clients that I deal with, they're repeat clients and they refer people to me. That's why I get a lot of my business.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not a person who's just going to cut a deal with you and make my money and say, all right, then gone. If you're spending your money with me, I want you to get your money right. Because if I go somewhere, even if it's down to me going into an establishment to buy a party, it should make me feel like I spend my money.
Mm.
And I just try to have that. And I think a lot of my clients appreciate that. Because you're spending good money, you want to be treated good.
Yeah. I think that goes for all things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I'm going to get, I mean, I get in a nitty gritty right now, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So when I know as a realtor, you're dealing with a lot of people. So you get a whole heap of calls on a daily basis. So I think you know where I'm heading with this.
Yeah.
Is there a point, or are there situations, or let me how do I phrase this? Are there times when you look on your phone and you know which call to answer and which call is just somebody wasting your time?
All right. Every call is a business opportunity. My call log don't last a day. I can't look back and tell you who called me yesterday. But you never know who might be a good client. Because I mean, a lot of the times I get calls and the persons they're nowhere ready to purchase a property, but I still try to give a little bit of advice. I mean, 2 minutes out of my day not killing me.
Yeah.
My time is valuable, but I don't think it's that valuable. Yeah. So, yeah.
So there's no client where it's like say it's a.
As I say, it falls back to our respecting. Because if you call me, I'm going to return a call, and if I don't return a call, really just slip me.
So you always return calls if you don't slip it.
Yeah.
Okay. So people, you see what you have to go through if you want to be a realtor. Because people just say, oh, you have these commercial or residential places selling for a whole shit ton of money, and feel like they might get for them commission, and it's just this smooth process when them realize.
It's a lot of work, especially if you want deals to go through. It's a lot of work. The real the upfront thing about it is that you're selling, but really and truly it's problem solving that you're doing. Because you're handling, remember, you're the middleman, as you would say. So you have to fix a lot of stuff, because you might be buying somewhere or even renting somewhere and you want something to be done, and the thing is that you're spending your money. So you say, all right, the landlord's supposed to be doing this, and the landlord is saying, boy, I'm having place, him I need you for rent it. So a lot of the times it's just kind of fixing small little issues. Sometimes they're big issues. Yeah.
So when you were starting,
yeah,
there must have been a point where you said, oh, okay, this is my breakthrough right now. So at what point did you say, yo, this is my breakthrough and I just full gas from now? Was there a specific point where you realized, say, yo, Ray?
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure if Miss Beckford would be watching this, but Miss Beckford is the person who I sold my first property to. Funny story. Up to this day, I don't know how she called me. She
Mm?
said, I don't remember the name of the guy, but she said some guy had given her my number. Up to this day, I don't know who that person is. And she said she was dealing with the other realtor, and same thing. She just never feel like the realtor was giving her what she needed or feel
Same company?
respected. No, no, no.
Mm.
I not even. She never shared the name with me. I don't
Mm.
need to know it.
Mm.
And she reached out to me to look at a place. Funny enough, she didn't look on the place until she bought it.
You just saw
Thinking
pictures.
about it now, yeah. So she reached out to me. She told me that she had been to the complex and looked at it. It was a new development. She said she had drive by one day inside and asked me to inquire about it. And reached out to the listing agent. Big up yourself, Tanya Sue.
Mm.
Yeah. Reached out to the listing agent. Went there, video called her, took some pictures, sent her some videos. She asked her friend to come look on the property. She's like, all right, Mr. French, I think it's good. We can go ahead, put in the offer. And what really changed it for me is when I got my first sale commission check. I never sent it to my account. I got the physical check.
Mm-hmm.
And I was looking at it. I was like, whoa, this
Can be a
can.
full time.
Yeah, I say, oh, this makes sense.
Mm.
Because before that, I was doing a lot of rentals. Because rentals is quick turnover in terms of comparing a sale. Like sometimes will take 6 months to close. You have to wait on it. So I was doing a lot of rentals, and like, yeah, the checks were okay. Because it was still in the early stages of my career. I'm still in the early stage, but earlier. And I say, oh, this makes sense. So I just kind of jumped into it and I gave it my all and say, oh, I have to make this work.
Mm. So in everything I know there's challenges, you know. So
Mm-hmm.
is there beef in the real estate
What?
industry?
Big beef.
Or a realtor try to steal your client
Oh,
or
of
you take
course.
a
Yeah. No, all right. The thing with it is that um, there, why there's a lot that happens behind closed doors. But I don't need to waste my time on that.
mm-hmm.
I get up in the morning to accomplish my task. So I
tunnel
don't need to
vision.
have beef with anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it doesn't progress into anything good. But yeah, definitely, I've people have tried to, I've been cut. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, plenty of times. But in everything, especially when certain figures are involved, you're going to have it.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me something. Is there a point in which okay, I'm asking this for the future realtors.
Mm-hmm.
The license that you have now
Mm-hmm.
and you're selling properties, would
Yeah,
you be able to go abroad with that same license and sell properties?
no.
Or you'd have to go through the entire
But
process
if I go
again?
through the entire process of getting it.
The-
But that's anywhere in the world. There's no license that carries to another country.
There's no universal real estate
No,
license?
because even in the as in like the process will be tweaked a bit. It won't be as strenuous as get it, depending on where you're at. But even like in the states, like if you're a realtor in Florida, you can't go to another state. Like you can't go to New York and practice as a realtor. You have to get your real estate license in New York.
Okay, so you having an real estate license from another place, will that ease the process or you have to start over like you never had it at all?
As I say, it depends on where you go. It might tweak it a bit.
Mm.
But say for instance, like a realtor in Canada, if they go to America, they have to start. They have to start fresh.
Like them never have no
Yeah.
experience before.
Well, not no experience, but as in getting the license.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
like the testing and all of them
Yeah.
something
So
there.
how it works in Jamaica, you have the real estate board, which is that regulates all realtors,
Mm-hmm.
and then we have Realtors Association of Jamaica, where that's just as it states in the name, it's an association. So you'll have realtors that you have real estate board. Once you're a realtor, you have to have they grant you a real estate license. You can't practice real estate legally without them granting a license. So you have to go to school, pass your exams, and then you pay for your license.
Mm.
And then with the association now, it's a membership fee that you pay. So not every realtor is a part of the association, but every realtor has to be licensed to the real estate
Okay.
board. Mm.
So I've always had this thought, and I
Mm.
don't know if it's going to be a bit too much for you, but
Yeah.
are these celebrities buying or renting? If you know, 'cause I feel like
Uh,
I feel like you guys are all connected somehow.
have I any celebrity clients? Yeah, I've
You
had
don't have
one.
to call them name.
No, no, I wouldn't do that. I don't disclose client information.
Yeah.
um, yeah, I've had one or two. I've had people who buy, people who rent.
Hmm.
Yeah, a mixture.
Were they easy to deal with, or
Um,
it's not them you deal with, it's the manager or whatever?
well, dealt with one directly, as in source place for him.
Hmm.
Other he came through another agent. Yeah,
In the same company.
no,
Oh.
other company. But the thing is, all right. So as I say, it fall back to the association, what we call a co-broke. So if it is that,
Co-broke meaning you Edge Reality and somebody from like
yeah,
Keller Williams.
yeah.
Oh.
Hmm.
Mm.
So how the co-broke works is that I have a property for sale, and the owner has signed exclusive with me to either rent or sell that property, and you might be working with another agent, and they would just be representing you to either purchase or rent the property. So I deal with the vendor strictly,
Mm.
and your agent deal with you as a purchaser or leasing strictly.
Oh. So it's a case like if you're doing the showing,
Hmm.
you and the person from the other company are together doing the showing, or it's something that's behind closed doors.
No man, it's usually announced that um
Two different companies.
yeah.
So how that work in terms of commission?
All right. So what happens is that the listing brokerage pays out the commission. So the vendor. So if you want to purchase somewhere or lease somewhere, you don't pay your agent.
Mm.
Yeah, it's the landlord or the vendor that pays out the commission. So they pay. So if somebody, as I say, somebody lists a property with me, they sign, all right, they're gonna pay the commission to me, and then if you bring a client to that property and
Mm.
they go through with it, then once it's closed, the vendor pays me, and then I pay you the other realtor.
So it's basically off of trust. It's not
Uh,
compulsory for you to pay the other
no
realtor.
man, it's compulsory.
Oh,
You have to do
you
that.
hear that?
I have
So
to.
you can't come on like you want to craft the thing.
Yeah, and it falls back to the question that you asked earlier. If there's a lot of um, backbiting or stuff like that, people
Mm.
try to do both sides of the deal to keep all of that check in their pocket.
Mm.
But a realtor's best client is another realtor.
Explain that.
Um, you have to have good relationships in the business. Because when you're cutting deals, it's better to have somebody that is on your side than somebody that is
Mm.
against you. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel that. So how does one go about selling their property? Like they lived there before and they want
Mm-hmm.
to sell it.
All right. How you go about the sale process now is that well, you give me a call. You say, all right, I have a house that I'd like to sell. We take a look at it. I tell you either to get, if it is, all right, if it's in a weird location, like it's isolated,
Mm.
I'd recommend to get a letter of opinion done. So that's basically like a valuation, but it's not as in depth and it costs a little bit less.
Mm.
So you get a letter of opinion, and a valuator will come in and say, all right, then they do the assessment and say, I think that's what it would be listed, what it will sell at. And then we use that to kind of gauge. But if it's somewhere where you have a lot of transactions happening, I
Mm.
do a comparable market analysis. So I look and see what other similar properties are in the area and what they've sold for, what they're being listed for. And I say, all right,
Mm.
then I recommend to you. I'm not a valuator, so I cannot tell you what to
Mm.
sell your property at. So I say, all right, then I think listing it at 40 million is good. Thereabout, let's put it on the market and see what it's like. You signed a listing agreement with me saying, all right, then you're giving me a property to sell. You're giving me the exclusive rights to advertise it, and whoever comes after bring offers to you. Um, you say, all right, then we agree on the commission, and then I go about getting pictures and so done, and then do my marketing thing.
Mm. So is it a case where someone who's selling a property off the bottom of their head, they could just make up a price?
Yeah, you can. There's no regulation in terms of what you can ask for ask for your
Oh.
property. But as I say, I'm not going to list a property
Mm-hmm.
if I think it's not going to sell at that.
Okay. And if they do that,
Mm-hmm.
does a potential buyer have the authority or the permission to get a valuation done on that property to see if it's
Yeah.
worth what they're saying?
Well, the thing is, it depends on where you are in the deal. 'Cause if I just come look on your house and a valuation costs money, it's quite a pretty penny. So nobody not gonna really get up and say, "Oh, I just do a valuation every house I look
Mm-hmm.
at." Um, they they do the valuation. So if you make an offer first, offer is not legally binding. So as I say, if you have a $50 million property, I say, oh, I write an offer to you. I show my pre-quality. I show that I have the money to pay the deposit. They say, all right, then I offer you 45. Account I say 47. And then it's kind of after you go through that whole negotiation process, then you say, all right,
Mm-hmm.
then let me do a valuation. Because you have persons who buy properties cash and them say, oh, they think it's worth it, so I'll just pay you for it. And then you have some who buy cash where they don't need to do a valuation, but they still go ahead just for their level of comfort. But if it is that you're doing a mortgage, you have to get a valuation done. That's a requirement by the bank.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
So as a realtor who is just starting out,
Mm-hmm.
which one is it better for them to start out doing? Selling land or property?
Let's sell. Let's sell. What? Yeah. Cause the thing is, you don't find a niche until you start cutting deals and you realize like what you're good
Mm.
at. As I said, when I started out, I was doing a lot of rentals. Yeah, rentals are good and it's a good turnover, but I I like to do sales.
Mm-hmm.
You build you build better relationships with people. It's not as strenuous because when you're doing rentals, it's a lot of paperwork and you have to be kind of on the
Yeah.
ball. It takes up a lot of time. Yeah. But my main focus, I do everything. I sell land, sell house. Um, but my main thing is I like commercial. So I try to do a lot
Oh.
of commercial
For commercial though, you have the option to buy or it has to be lease or rent.
in terms of in terms of what?
Selling like the units, offering the units.
Oh yeah, there's
You
a
have
it's a
options to buy.
yeah, it's an open market, yeah. But you
Mm.
have people build companies just to sell the units. But a lot of the times with commercial, where you find happening is that they just build it and rent it out. But
Yeah, that
yeah,
me know.
mm. But it happens. Yeah,
And the rent for the commercial units are normally much more expensive than residential. So I can imagine
Ye-
that selling them is even
yeah.
more than.
Cause with commercial, it's a lot more calculated. It's more facts and figures when it comes on to commercial. When it's residential, it's more of an emotional figure. So in commercial, what we do is everything is calculated on a per square foot basis.
Mm.
Yeah.
And that is set by the developer.
Um.
Or
This the thing we do a market analysis and it depends on the location of the property and
mm,
we look and say all right then in the area what will this go for like say for instance building in New Kingston
mm-hmm.
their cost per square foot in terms of either if you're leasing it or you're selling it it's going to be a lot more higher than say something off Riddles Road.
Mm.
Yeah, so like in New Kingston you would say if you're renting it, it's probably like USD, um, $1.50 per square foot on Riddles Road. You might find it to be $1. And those are for larger buildings. For like smaller units, when it comes on to rent, it's more done on like, all right, then let's see what the area is getting at, and then we just we rent it for that.
Mm.
So not every commercial thing is done like that, but a lot of the times that's how it is done, but it's done on a larger scale.
Okay.
Yeah.
So apart from Kingston,
hmm
I assume you sell properties all over the island. Apart from Kingston, which parish has the fastest growing real estate market right now?
Um, I would say between Saint Anne and Saint Thomas, there's a lot
St.
happening.
Thomas?
Yeah,
Eh?
yeah, because of the whole road
It's
network
more
down
land
there.
than anything at St. Thomas.
Yeah, a lot of land is being sold.
Mm.
There's a big development that's happening down there, and it's
Residential or commercial?
residential.
Mm.
So it's similar to um, what's that place down in Saint Anne again?
That's all?
Richmond.
Oh,
Yeah,
Richmond.
yeah. Not at Richmond's level, but yeah,
Mm.
it's close to that.
Mm.
Yeah. The road network has opened it up a lot.
Mm.
With the highways and so, the real estate market has really changed. And it falls back to an earlier question that I didn't even answer. That is a reason why you see a lot of price increase, because access properties now it's varying, because I find it crazy
Mm.
the prices I see properties selling for in Portmore. Because when I started real estate, like the prices that you saw like Portmore properties for, what they are now, you could have bought Kingston properties for it. Because even um like just this week I saw a property in, I don't remember exactly where it is in Portmore, but it was clutching close to 50 mil. And I
In
was,
Portmore?
yeah,
That's
that's the same
crazy.
reaction I had. And then the thing is that the transactions are happening.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's crazy still. So
hmm
the St. Thomas property, what is it close to? Beach?
Yeah.
Oh,
hmm
and they have restaurants down there and things.
But as I said, there's a lot of development happening down there. Because if me is supposed to drive down there tomorrow, you see a lot of trucks moving stuff. And anywhere you see trucks moving stuff,
Mm-hmm.
stuff is happening.
That's crazy,
Yeah,
bro.
the road net right down there has really opened it up a lot.
Mm.
hmm
Man, you said beautiful, nice, yeah, nice,
Yeah.
but
hmm I have a client down there. He has a um beachfront property that he's looking to do something with.
so based on what you have seen,
hmm
what is the potential for St. Thomas?
Um, I think
Based on what is accessible
mhm.
and land potential.
I think we're just going to have a filter effect, like how because Kingston and St. Andrews is a hub of Jamaica. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
money is made in Kingston and St. Andrews,
Mm-hmm.
and people want to be close to where money is being made. And I think that's why Portmore has grown so much, because you have a lot of people moving in to do work in Kingston, but they can't afford
Mm-hmm.
properties in Kingston and St. Andrews, so they filter to Portmore. And I think that's what's going to happen as well with St. Thomas, because the drive to St. Thomas is not that far, and the road
How
that
long
we're
is it
down
now?
there, don't quote me on it,
Mm.
but it's not that far. Yeah,
Less than an hour?
yeah, man, for sure.
Mm.
Mm.
Like a Ochi trip or
But
less?
less, less, less,
Eh?
less. Yeah,
I mean, I reach Ochi in 29 minutes.
it's less, man. 'Cause remember, if you're in New Kingston and you're going to St. Thomas, remember it's just like you're driving to the airport. That
Mm-hmm.
roundabout, but you just keep straight.
Mm.
hmm
And it's toll.
No,
No toll?
yeah, no toll.
Eh? It
Mm.
doesn't go back St. Thomas free, so a joke you make.
Yeah, man, serious thing. Like, you have to take a trip down there for it. But yeah, man, the last time I went down there, there was a lot happening.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. But as I was saying, my client of mine, he has a beachfront property, and the
Mm-hmm.
two lots beside him, those people have submitted for their approvals to do small development. Mm-hmm. But it's on the beachfront, so it's more of a villas type of property. Well, properties, yeah.
Mm.
And there are a couple of investment companies that are down that side that I heard they were doing stuff, but I'm not sure what's happened with it.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
People, if you thought it was just a smooth trip in this real estate thing, yeah, I would love to hope that this open up your eyes. It's
Yeah,
not an easy task, but
it can be done though. Yeah.
is real estate something that you could see as allowing you to reach your highest potential
Definitely. Um,
and allow you to do other things?
of- but you know I do other things as
Yeah.
well. The thing that I love about it is not being tied to an office. I still have my office that I work from and thing, but the thing is that all right, if I need to get something done, I can allot my time different and say, all right, then I don't need to necessarily be in office tomorrow, so I can go under that and get that done. So it gives me that access to different opportunities because I'm not tied to it. Because I did I got a Airbnb property the other day, and that took up a lot of time, so I kind of had to put real estate a little bit on the back burner and just handle that. But it's up and running now, so it's back to real estate fully.
That is it. This is another question, How you carry yourself, how you dress, what you drive, and all do those things play a part in getting the real clients that you want?
Definitely.
How you carry yourself?
Yeah. Because remember, we're humans, The first impressions matter. So I did a show today in shorts and a polo shirt, but it's Sunday, so I can be excused. But if you call me and you say you want to look on this $5 million commercial building in the heart of New Kingston, and it's Monday morning, bright and early, and you see me come in Crocs and shorts and a regular t-shirt, you're not going to feel confident in me to say, boy, I can handle this transaction. And there are a lot of realtors out there, so why would I not give myself a bit of edge of presenting myself properly?
Facts. No joke.
Yeah.
But I try to ask this at the end of every interview. Oh, by the way, I don't know how I keep on forgetting it. Sudz kit out now. Don't know everything you need in one. You're going to leave the link I'm going to leave the link in this bio, and you hang the business. You see me? You get more info soon on the Sudz JA page. Yeah, I try to ask this at the end of every interview. What was your version of success when you were younger, and what is your version of success now? When I say younger, I mean like high school days.
I think when I was younger, the thing what I envision as success is having the biggest house, having the biggest car. I think now it's a matter of just being happy with yourself.
If I'm happy with yourself.
If you can get up in the morning and be grateful for what you have, and even though we want more, to be content with what you have and say, all right, I'm okay. Like something as small as looking up and say, all right, today I get up and want to eat some salmon or an AC. You can do that for yourself, and you do things that you're capable of doing, things that you want to do. I think you've been successful.
I agree. That's a good way to look at it. But one real touch of, I'm gonna leave him Instagram in the bio as well. Enough respect for forward us on the show, bro.
It's a pleasure. And the last thing I have to say is that when you're looking at it to especially purchase a property, it might seem like, boy, is this big and challenging task.
Yeah.
But like with anything, all you have to do is just start the process.
Just start. Same thing with business, for real.
Just have to start the process. Simple as that.
Yeah,
it will work out itself, but you have to put in the work too.
Yeah, man. We had a conversation like this, but about something else. Yeah, but it will work itself out. Yeah.
It will work itself.
It will. But people, another episode down. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Sudz Boss and Realtor Trav out.
It was a pleasure.